Hi, this is Phil Fry, giving the school board and the public an update on the budget forecast modeling. So budget forecast modeling is something that we typically do this time of year. We've done it for well more than 10 plus years in the district. We also we use the Robert W. Baird budget forecast modeling and the Forecast 5. So we have two different models that we look at. We just kind of do that just to make sure that both models, when we put our inputs, that they're kind of showing roughly the same outputs, because just kind of a double check, kind of like we do with enrollments, using APL and Mark Roffers for enrollments. So again, two different projection models that we use. It is very tough to do a budget forecast model when we're in these odd years of the state budget. As we all know, the state budget is being worked on right now. So we're trying to plan a budget and budget for the school district without knowing our inputs on what we're going to receive for revenue cap increases. So that's the biggest takeaway from this. It's really hard to do this at this point, but we still feel it's worthwhile to do it. So just some inputs that we use. I use the University of Wisconsin enrollment projections, which has the district going down 9 students next year. So I use that, and then throughout the next 5 years. Again, I talked about the state budget process just a minute ago. For now, I'm using $150 increase in revenue cap for the next 5 years. Hopefully that dollar amount gets greatly increased, but for now it's pretty conservative at $150. I'm using a salary increase of 4.7% for next year for all groups, and then 4% for the next 2 years after that, and then 3% for the next 2 years after that. It's a 5-year budget model that we're looking at. Health insurance going up 5% January 1st, and property values going up 6%. So with that, again, knowing that budget forecasts are really tough, especially in these odd years, we are projecting a budget deficit of next year of 1.2 million. On Baird's model, Forecast 5 is about $900,000 deficit. So somewhere in that tune of about $1 million deficit. Again, we have a lot of work to do in the budget. The state has a lot of work to do, which will give us an input on that budget. Once we have the state inputs, then we can determine more where that deficit, if it still exists, or what we're going to do to fix that. So that'll be the budget process. But right now we're just doing a budget forecast model. And then after next year, again, it's really hard to do a budget forecast model, but using those inputs that I talked about before, that deficit grows each year to about a $10 million deficit 5 years out. One of the outputs of the model is what the tax levy is going to do. Just like I said with the budget forecast model, it's hard to estimate your tax levy until you know what kind of equalized aid you're going to get from the district or from the state. We don't know that yet, but using again, very conservative equalized aid estimate, we are projecting a mill rate going from 10.52 this year to 10.61 next year. So a 9-cent increase in mill rate, which would not be much, but again, we'll see what equalized aid does. As always, there's a lot of information in the report. I'm not going to go over those. I know you guys don't like to have the report read to you, but there is a lot of information for you to look at in those reports. And I will be at the school board meeting on Monday night to answer any questions you have, or just send me an email. That would be great. Thank you.